Alright, hello everyone, Archimple here. Today I'm going to be doing a very interesting idea that I had in my head for like a first video. So today I'm going to be playing a game called the New Campaign Trail. It is basically a game where you can play as a presidential candidate, you can answer a few questions, and you can win the election depending on how well you do. So today I'm going to be playing a mod for 2024, and I'm going to be playing as Kamala Harris. Now, I do genuinely question to see, can I win this game from the same position that Kamala Harris is in? Now, remember that the answers that I take in this game are not what I genuinely believe in real life. These are just the answers in the game that I think will make it easiest for me to be able to win. If anyone has any comments about whether the mod is realistic or whether I should do a different strategy, go ahead and say it. Alright, so let's begin the game. We're obviously going to do 2024 election. Let's look at the description. A rocky 4 years under President Biden have culminated in the renomination of Donald Trump, followed by the earth-shaking withdrawal of Joe Biden from the race. Okay, yeah, it is a genuine big deal. Donald Trump, officials with 34 felony convictions, only seems to trail Harris very narrowly. Can he keep his momentum going all the way through the election day? Is this momentum even real? Now, in real life, the answer was yes, but hopefully in this game we can make it so it's not necessarily the case. Kamala Harris assumes the Democratic nomination with the strong support of President Biden. She knows the general election invested already. Right at 30,000. Now, this was true. It's like there was a genuine surge of enthusiasm when Kamala Harris she got the nomination. But I don't think she's really that is really just because she wasn't Biden. I don't think she was ever enormously popular because a lot of that enthusiasm wore off during the later years of her campaign. That's why Trump even managed to win in the first place. Now let's see if we're actually be able to win the election as Kamala Harris in this game. Let's play Kamala Harris. We're gonna select Tim Walz as our vice president. Whoever Kamala Harris. We're gonna go for the full questions. We want to do every single. We're gonna do normal difficulty. And alright, let's go! Within days of Biden's withdrawal, you have consolidated virtually all Democratic support and wrapped up enough pledged delegates to become the presumptive nominee. I do want to wonder, what was the polls during this time? Okay. This would definitely be a Trump victory, though. But, it's still within range. At least the blue wall in the Midwest is Democrat. We have Nevada over here being Democrat. Pennsylvania is within flipping distance. And then you have North Carolina and Georgia, which both are within taking distance. So, I would say, back to the game. So we're going to start. So eventually you're going to have to visit states later on. So we'll figure that out. Within days of Biden's withdrawal, you have consolidated virtually all Democratic support and wrapped up enough pledged delegates to become the presumptive nominee. Polls indicate a surge in your favorabilities and rapidly moving striking to Trump. I don't think the average person would care that much about January 6th. It was really bad, but it's not something that I think most people would concern themselves with in going to the polls. I would say, I don't think we should, but we don't have enough time to be slow. We have 6 months to campaign. We can't just sit around and wait. We gotta get support quickly, even if there is the risk that it might look weird. Sorry if I seen that, yeah. We gotta get support quickly if, we're gonna have a chance to, be able to do that. So I would say it's either one of these two. I would personally say that most politicians in America, when they win the election, they generally make promises that they end up not being able to keep. But the big promises, they get people to vote because they think, oh, there's a chance that we'll get it. We'll worry about our presidency later. Let's make a comprehensive agenda. People, this is the best one to say. People already have an opinion on Trump. We might as well give people a reason to support us. There we go. I think that was pretty good. Your announcement have gone over well, especially progressive Democrats. I don't think it's a good idea because this will make the Republicans feel like it'll just make us feel like a coward. This is a bad idea, in my opinion. This is a little bit too aggressive on okay, this doesn't really make sense because I don't think that the whole point in here makes sense. Like most Republicans think the Iran Iraq war was a mistake, but they also like most Republicans. Okay, if I can just understand how Republicans think of wars, like most Republicans, even if they think a military endeavor was a mistake, they still believe that like people serving their country like is a net good. So I don't think this is a very smart one. I would say this right here. This makes sense. You're tired of a conflict of interest. I think this is the one you're supposed to pick. Yeah. I would say for states, my goal here is to hold the Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. So I'm probably gonna visit Pennsylvania. Because in this game, when you visit a state, you get like a little bit of more support from it. Any Arab American, okay. I don't think, no. Most people in America don't care much about the Palestine issue. I think that most Americans support Israel or don't really care. Like, that's my opinion anyway. Most voters don't care. I would say making some token. But then again, we could maybe, like, then again, I probably might just actually go the full way because, especially Michigan, there's tons of people who vote for us. I would say, let me try this. Yeah, so I would say, yeah. So I personally decided to just go for the higher one because even though most Americans don't support Israel, if you're gonna do something like this, it's better to go all the way and make the people in the convention feel represented, as opposed to doing it in like a very half-assed way. If you're gonna alienate the other side, you might as well go all the way. Is like what I feel like in that situation. So the last time a Democratic National Convention was held in Chicago, the last time a president dropped out in favor of his vice president, absolutely nothing went right. Today, though, it's clear it's not the case. Instead, the convention is cheering for you. You've brought the energy back. You brought the joy back. Okay. I would say we've made so much progress. I would, I would personally kind of detach from Biden because, like, Biden's, like, never, like, Biden's, like, Biden's agenda was never really that popular, regardless of whether it's justified or not. A lot of Trump support in 2024 came because people thought that things were better under Trump 1 than under Biden. So I would say distancing ourselves from Biden a little bit is a good idea, but not too much as to alienate, people, because there are a lot of people who still support him. Um, this comment was not. I'm pretty sure this was not a good comment like Kamala Harris in real life because that like pissed off a lot of people on the left. So I don't think we need to constantly hammer home what Trump is doing. I would say this. I would say a lot more of the nuts. There we go. I would say making a strong emphasis on unity is a good idea. We don't want to grapple ourselves too much. I would say do the speech of unity. It's the best idea. It's a good message that a lot of people in America resent to. And it also doesn't grab us off to the mistakes of Biden too much. I think I'm gonna visit Pennsylvania again. Voter resentment. Damn, like every single vote is angry. Bruh. Okay. We're gonna visit Pennsylvania. Rumors are abound that RFK may drop out of the race and endorse Trump. However, your campaign tells you he's offering to endorse you instead. If you negotiate with him, punishment sure, okay. Kennedy's a nut. We should ignore his antics, let it play out. Okay, that's a bad idea. Okay, let's see if there's another option. I would say hey, this is a campaign. If we're gonna get Kennedy to endorse us without changing our positions, then we're fine. Kennedy's coalition is broad but lacks focus. We'll focus on pulling back some of those Democratic-leaning voters, especially disaffected younger ones. That could be helpful. I would say making a deal with Robert F. Kennedy is a bad idea. Most people kind of consider him to be a lunatic. I mean, funny story. I have a professor who I know who is somewhat right wing and a fairly big fan of the Kennedys, and she hates RFK. So, from my personal experience, he is not popular. So, I would say we try to get voters back, or we try to just go around him and try to get young voters back. There we go. Okay, so I think this is the best course of action. At least the game tells us that. Just give me a minute. All right, let's continue. Recently, the Georgia Supreme Court. Yeah, just give me a minute. Okay. Recently, Georgia Supreme Court struck down a state secret abortion ban, ruling that it violated the Georgia Constitution. Oh yeah. So, as for abortion, abortion is an issue that riles a lot of people up to vote. I would say taking a strong stance on it is good for the campaign. Yeah, a lot of people like the thing is that the Democrat side, a lot of people vote. There's a lot of single issue voters that vote like just on abortion. So taking a strong stand on that is always a smart move if you're a Democrat. Um, I would say I'm not sure giving Republicans a home in the administration. I mean, I would say doing a united front isn't a terrible thing. How do we should talk about democracy? January 6th is not popular, so we shouldn't like over centralize it on the campaign, which we definitely pointed out. I would say this is the best one because we need to. I would say if you're a Democrat, Donald Trump was there on January 6th. I mean, yeah, you could say that, but like, how many people are? I would say this one right here is the best because it energizes the voters. Okay, we're gonna visit Pennsylvania. So our goal is to win the election. We gotta hold Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Nevada. If we hold those states, we win the election. How do you plan? I don't even care if they rile up his base, because like, is anyone not gonna vote for him? I would say it's a really good campaign, sir. Yeah, couldn't ask for a better contrast. That's a really good way to run your campaign on. So I would say this. We need to support progressives. Yeah, definitely. All right, this. I think most Americans support tariffs, but neo-mercantilism obviously seems a little bit ridiculous to most people. So, um, I would say most people in America support a level of protectionism. So I don't think it's a good idea. There we go. This should nail him. Yeah, there we go. Try and attack the. Yeah. Most people want tariffs, but obviously it's a little ridiculous, and throwing it out there that's ridiculous. It's not a bad idea. We got to go after the vice president. Going after the vice president in this game is always a good idea. Okay, this is a little bit taunty. I would say most people don't care about this. I would say this is something most people care. Wow, we're doing well in the polls. We've surged up significantly since we first started the game. I would say maybe we should try and try to grab Georgia. See if we can do that. Maybe trying to get the Biden states. Hmm. I would say most Americans generally support action at the border, so this is something we have to take. I don't think promising to bring back the bill is like particularly a good idea because there are obviously a lot of. I would say this is generally the whole thing that this is probably the average what the average American supports. I would say maybe this one is probably the best. I would say attacking the Republicans and being flip floppers is probably the best thing to do here. I don't think taking a stand on the border issue. We might as well just not take a stand on the border issue that would alienate someone, but attack the Republicans being flip floppers. Yeah, you're politically dodging the issue. Biden's numbers. I would say this might be the best thing to do. I mean, if you want to get people excited, might as well do. Hmm. Trump eventually responds with a rant that critics call incoherent. Okay. I guess that worked. The thing is, I was thinking that was the best one. Project 2025, like, in real life, the Democrats, they did obviously go after Project 2025, but then again, I think a lot of people were like, is this really what Trump's gonna do? I mean, like, he already has his agenda up and everything like that. I mean, like, I don't think in the minds of most Americans, Trump really could be tied to Project 2025. But like tying JD Vance to, okay, but like I don't think tying Trump to 2025 is a good idea, especially because Trump like seems to constantly distance himself from it. I don't think tying Vance from it is a particularly bad idea because Vance is, he's the vice president, he's not the president, and he's much more radical than Trump on some issues. So tying Vance to it, I'd say, is a good campaign choice. I would say we try to hold Michigan from here. It's a little low on the backs of those numbers. I would say for this one, I'd hate to say this, but this is an issue where I would have to put politics over a smart like policy. I would say that any sort of selling out of a company to a foreign entity is like that's what won Trump's support in 2016. So no. Yeah, it's a very unfortunate thing because that deal would probably be good, but it'd be literal political suicide. It's actually kind of tragic. I would say just agree to go to the debate. Any sort of accusation of debate dodge. Here's the problem. I don't want to dodge a debate with Trump. With Trump's personality, he would jump all over that. We can't skip a debate with Trump, even if we have a disadvantage. So I would say go this. Most viewers agree you won and humiliated. Well, because the thing is that I watched the Trump Harris debates, and I think that Harris like definitely won the debate. Like I actually thought she was gonna win when that debate happened. I mean, eventually her poll numbers shrunk, but like I thought that she won that debate. So yeah, wow, look at those numbers, damn. I think okay, we have a 6 point lead in Michigan. Yeah, let's go to Georgia. I think defending Georgia. Pennsylvania seems to be already pretty solidly in our grip. I would say go for a ceasefire. I'll also say Israel is yeah. I would say go for this one. The reason I picked the other option and the first one is because it was either half-ass it or do it. Like with the Palestinian speaker thing, it was either half-ass it or do it for all the way. If you're gonna do something like that, you might as well not half-ass it. But like with this, since it's a test of your entire position as opposed to just letting someone else in the stand, I think Okay, we don't want to go too far to supporting Israel. I would say if we do this, we can support Israel enough for most people while also keeping the Palestine people on our side, keeping the pro-Palestine people on our side. Unfortunately, that did not do well for our poll numbers. At least we still seem to be holding. We're holding Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, so we still win the election with these polls. I have to go back to Pennsylvania because now we're falling behind there. I would say we get him to show up. There we go. Now our polls get a little bit. It looks like Wall's held his ground. So I would say we need to just give aid to the people in the disaster. We don't want to call out the Republicans here because it'll just make like we're making excuses. When something like this happens that we're clearly capable of handling, we need to send aid. Okay. Now let's just because I know it was because like there were a lot of ads going around in the 2024 election that Kamala Harris was botching the aid in North Carolina, so I just want to make sure not to do that. I would say 1,000% tariff is obviously really stupid. Okay, yeah, we need to clown on him for this. Yeah, just clown on him for that. A 1,000% tariff is obviously stupid, and we should clown on him for it. I would say stand by Biden just because we've already broken enough from Biden earlier to. I would say having Biden's endorsement is not a bad idea. Being same on him in policy is not good, but yeah, let's go for it. I would say we shouldn't emphasize it too much. Yeah. I would. It's obviously not run a campaign with Dick Cheney. Like he's enormously. Regardless of what your opinion on him, it's a bad move to run a campaign with him as a Democrat because he's enormously unpopular. I would say don't give him attention. But then again, their supporters are so tiny, it's not even funny. Just don't give him attention. I know it's incredibly shady, but this is the best. That is probably the smartest political move. I would say inflation. That's the big issue in the election. Yeah, inflation's the thing that people are always most frustrated with Biden with. So don't speak the. There we go. Yeah. Do not just don't say that bottom one because the bottom one is what Harris said in real life, and I don't think it went very well. I don't think Medicare for all is enormously. I mean, actually, no. I think it is actually. Hmm. I would say, but I don't think everyone supports it. I mean, I don't think like I know a lot of moderate Democrats are not particularly huge on it, so I would probably say just go this one. I don't see this one because I don't see this because if you actually watch Joe Rogan's podcast, he generally just has a tendency to agree with whatever the person is saying. Like he has a like even if Joe Rogan has his views, he has a tendency to just roll with what people say on stream. I mean, I think if you can watch his Kyle Klinsky or Bernie streams, it is pretty much like that. So I don't see the strategic reason to not go on his show. Oof. Unfortunately, Rogan snubs you. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Joe Rogan's definitely shifted to the right recently compared to what he was before. Because back in 2019, I remember when Joe Rogan met with like Bernie Sanders and all that, and he did actually try to meet people on the left, but like now he only really meets with people on the right. So even though like whenever he meets someone on a podcast, he has a tendency to give them a platform to speak. He's only really met with people on the right recently. Like you look at his videos, like okay, okay, okay. We need to call out this rhetoric. I would say don't pigeonhole yourself. Yeah, don't do that. Like, come on, come on. Let's go Michigan. There we go. Okay. Yeah, this is a good one. I don't think filing a lawsuit against like the richest person in the world is gonna work. I would say just get people to vote with it. Oof. Uh-oh. This is what happened to. It's her winning Wisconsin. Oh my god. I would say don't. Hopefully this one. Yeah. Because so I stayed silent on this one because in real life, Biden responded to this comment by saying that Trump supporters are garbage, and that backfired terribly on him. So my goal here is to just avoid doing that. I would say this. This is a really way to get cited. Uh-oh. We might not. Okay, no. Okay, we're reading Wisconsin, Michigan. I would say we seem to have Pennsylvania. We need Michigan and Wisconsin. All right, let's see if we win. Let's wait out the results and see. Indiana, Kentucky. Yeah, Florida. Okay. All right, let's see. All we're doing is waiting for the swing. Ah, shit, Arizona. Okay, losing Arizona is not great. Oof. We lost Pennsylvania. God dang it. This is why the polling in this game doesn't work sometimes. What? Oh, we're gonna lose. Oh my god. We actually lost more than in real life. We lost New Mexico. God damn. For some reason, Virginia's taken forever. It's 100% complete. Well, one interesting thing, definitely counted a lot faster than the real election. Oh my god, we actually did worse than we did in the actual election. Oof, do they give vice presidents their own libraries? I'm a little taken aback by losing because it looked like by the polling we were gonna win, and then this game turns around. It's like, nope. Turns out you don't. All right, so I guess this is quite a fun thing to do. It didn't exactly go the way that I planned, but if anyone has advice for this game, go ahead and tell me about it.